I'm actually torn 50-50 on whether I like the original showing or Kai more. Because when Goku first goes Super Saiyan, in the original one, he's just basically, I won't let you get away with
I said the same thing
in Fire. In Kai, however, like, he really sounds mad. You know when Goku starts calling you a bastard? Oh, you in trouble. Bro, you ruthless, heartless
bastard.
And then he says, I will make you suffer. Oh my God.
Then when he I literally said the same thing. I said the transformation in Kai, Goku going Super Saiyan in DBZ Kai is better than DBZ. I said the same thing. Hey, BamZ back at it again. It's been a minute, but we back at it again. We have the Curse of Dragon Ball Kai. Let's see what the Curse of Dragon Ball Kai is, bro. I've been saying I've said for a while that there's some parts in Kai that are better than DBC. There's actually a few parts, quite a few, but that's up for a different argument, different debate. But let's react to this video together. Let's see what he got to say.
I have a pop quiz for you. So on your screen, you see Bardock, right? Now you see another picture of also Bardock in the same frame. Looks a little different, right? Okay, so here's the question. Which one of these images is Dragon Ball Z Kai? You can see one image has like no blood.
Gotta be Nicktoons because there's no blood and stuff like that. Nicktoons in the beginning, they wasn't showing the blood and shit like that.
One has a lot of blood, has the scar.
And they weren't showing the scars too.
Are intact and everything. Ah! You guessed either of these images were Dragon Ball Z Kai individually, you would be right and wrong. They're both Dragon Ball Z Kai, and you've been led astray. Nicktoons and 4Kids.
Oh, I see what they did. They showed the Dragon Ball Z Kai, like the final chapters one. Well, not final chapters, but the Dragon Ball Z Kai where they let everything go. Like they put the blood back in. They showed all the hits. They showed the uncut DBZ Kai, which is, to me, like I said, that it competes with Z. To be honest, that's what they did. Then he showed the one on Nicktoons. I see what he did.
Have done irreparable damage to Dragon Ball Z Kai's legacy, and I will not let it stand. Okay, context. So not too long ago, I was on the Key Moments podcast with my friends Nano and Dododoy. We talked about a bunch of things, but one of the topics that we landed on was Dragon Ball Z Kai, because of the fact that they're doing a rewatch of Dragon Ball Z. And, you know, we talked a little bit, you know, we shared our opinions, blah, 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 but then I looked at the comment section of that video, and the amount of people that had no idea what they were.
Why would anyone want to watch Kai? There's no blood in it. That's what made DBZ serious. I'm gonna be honest, bro. The more I do this content shit, is the more I realize people literally like comment sections. Like, not all of y'all. Shout out to the ones that don't. But in general, we all make this mistake. But you really see it when you start doing content. Like, people really will comment something, but really not know what they're talking about. Like what he said, there's no blood in Kai. Like, fam, the one I watched Kai on Nicktoons and I watched Kai when they released it uncut. Like, you got to do your research before commenting certain shit, bro. Like, you just realize that as you do content, the amount of people who really just be so unaware of something
we're talking about, and rightfully so. They've been led astray, confused, befuddled even. It was mind-boggling. People still don't understand what Dragon Ball Z Kai is, and whether you like it more or not is whatever. That's not what I'm here to do, but I gotta dispel some things. So first things first, let's get to the root of this all. Let's say you're not a huge Dragon Ball fan, or you just kind of know about Dragon Ball a little bit. I don't know why you're here, but thank you for being here. Please stay, please, please. So what is the difference between Dragon Ball Z and Dragon Ball Z Kai? Dragon Ball Z was the original airing of Dragon Ball Z that came out in, I guess for us in the US, the late 90s, early 2000s, mid 2000s-ish. Though I love Dragon Ball Z, and I still do to this day.
Oh, how I long to be here.
That's not to say that Dragon Ball Z doesn't suffer from its faults. While there's various that I could mention, let's just start with the basics. Filler. I get it, some people love filler, but let's talk about what filler is in case you're not a huge anime head. Essentially, a manga will serve as the blueprint for the anime to animate based off of. But a lot of times, if the manga is still actively being written while the anime is actively being animated, the anime can catch up to the manga, which is the blueprint it's based off of. The anime will go into a filler arc, or sometimes just a few filler episodes. What this does is it buys time for the mangaka to keep writing more chapters while the anime is doing whatever the hell is going on in this filler arc. Some people like filler arcs. Obviously, this varies depending on the anime. Some people aren't huge fans, like me. For me, I know whatever's happening in that filler arc will literally have zero impact on what happens narratively in the actual story that I'm trying to watch. That's just me. Also, this can make the show seem very long. It makes the show, when you're rewatching it at least, seem really random. You remember Fake Planet Namek? Remember Goku falling off Snake Way into HFIL or whatever?
Yeah, bro. This is what I'm talking about. I didn't like certain stuff in Z. Like, there was extra things that they didn't need to have in there. This in particular, Goku going out to fix the ship in space when he was headed to planet Namek. Gohan and Krillin and Bulma finding the Dragon Balls, that fake dragon before they landed on Namek. That those scenes that they had with those other Namekians, just like it was just certain stuff in Dragon Ball Z that I was like, why is this here? And that's why I personally like Kai. You know, both are hell of good shows, but Kai for me was just like, okay, got straight to it. It had good story. It had good stories. It had good flashbacks. You know what I'm saying? Showing flashbacks of certain things. You know, that was just me. Like this in particular, yeah, I wasn't a fan of that either.
Yeah, I understand you may have some nostalgia, but for me, those are some tough rewatches. I enjoyed it at the time. Tough rewatches. So boom, you understand what filler is. Tough snake way into HFIL or whatever. Yeah, I understand you may have some nostalgia, but for me, those are some tough rewatches.
Nostalgia hurts a lot of in his life. Nostalgia, it hurts a lot of things, bro.
Boom, you understand what filler is. So a few years later, we have Dragon Ball Z Kai. Dragon Ball Z Kai was Toei's attempt to follow the manga much more precisely. Its job to remove all fillers, and specifically for the English dub, fix some of the random English lines that weren't even close to what the manga wanted the characters to be saying. So I can't speak fully to how Kai was received overseas in Japan. I don't live there, but I am a warm, cold-blooded Merc, and I know how people felt about it here. I remember everyone was super excited about Dragon Ball Z coming back onto TV. It was Dragon Ball Z Kai, and it was like gonna be updated to new crispy animations and stuff like that. At least that's what I thought. But it was basically just Dragon Ball Z again, except, you know, slightly different colors, new intro, and what the fuck is that? What did they do to Mr. Popo? Where's the blood? Everyone's world crumbled, mine included. What did they do to the show that I love? There's no blood. Mr. Popo is blue, da ba dee da ba die. What happened? And right there was where a lot of people dropped Kai and never looked at it ever again. I kind of understand that, but it's messed up because that's not Dragon Ball Z Kai's fault. That, my friends, was Nicktoons. You see,
Bro, that is on Nicktoons, bro. I was watching Nicktoons Avatar. What else was on Attacking the Power of Juju? Like, bro, Nicktoons was, they weren't gonna show that on Nicktoons. It was filtered. Bro, we were kids watching that. There's certain stuff and cuts in the show that they weren't gonna show because it was on Nicktoons. You know what I'm saying? You have to just wait a little longer for it to be out fully. You look up Dragon Ball Z Kai right now, it's been like that for years and years and years and years and years now. Shows blood, shows everything. You know what I mean? Like, I could see where y'all was coming from though, for sure. Like, you used to seeing Z, and then all of a sudden there's no blood. I could definitely understand where y'all was coming from. Y'all weren't tripping, but I think people just pulled the plug too fast. You know, in this life we in, instant gratification. If it's not like the last one, you don't want to even watch it anymore. You don't want to listen to it anymore. That's just the world we live in. Instant gratification hurts a lot of things.
Ball Z, when it was originally released, came out on Toonami. Toonami had a lot more liberties to post to more of a PG-13 audience. More adult themes, more graphic violence, etc. Dragon Ball Z Kai, for whatever reason, I don't know how this happened, was picked up by Nicktoons. Nicktoons and I believe 4Kids. And when it came to censorship, they did not hold back.
Right. I don't remember Mr. Popo being what's it called though? Purple though. Like this shit, bro. Like, come on. This was insane.
Mr. Popo, that's a racist theme. Make him blue. Is that blood on Bardock's face? Get rid of.
Hold on, that's why they had Mr.
That's a racist theme. Make him blue. Is that blood on Bardock's face? Get rid of it. Is that a scar? Get rid of it. He's just Goku now. Dragon Ball Z Kai on Nicktoons was a disaster. So once again, I put both of these images up on the screen. The real answer is, one is Dragon Ball Z Kai on Nicktoons, and one is Dragon Ball Z Kai Uncut. Dragon Ball Z Kai Uncut is the Dragon Ball Z Kai that I stand. Dragon Ball Z Kai on Nicktoons needs to be forgotten. And I completely understand if people don't love the new voice acting. Some of the notable changes being Kid Gohan going from Stephanie Nadolny, who's the iconic voice of like Kid Goku and stuff, being switched over to Colleen Clickenberg.
I'm not gonna lie to you, the Gohan voice, that was an ill. I ain't gonna lie. The Gohan Gohan voice. It's like it was still cool, but his older voice is better.
Hopefully I pronounced that correctly. I think this is the biggest one for people, but then you have welcome changes, at least for me, such as Frieza's dub formerly being done by Linda Young, who by the way is a GOAT in her own right, so no shade to Linda Young. But that was switched over to who I find to be the GOAT of Frieza voice actors, which was Chris Ayres. Rest in peace to a GOAT. Now played by Damon Mills, who's been doing an amazing job, by the way. And a few more changes here and there. For me personally, I didn't love the Gohan voice acting at the beginning because I was so used to the Stephanie Nadolny. But then I remember, okay, Gohan's a 4-year-old. He's supposed to sound like a little more, you know, light, a little less. And I love Stephanie Nadolny as Goku, and that'll always be Kid Goku to me forever. But Gohan, I eased up on, and I feel like Colleen Klinkenberg does a really good job. It had to grow on me though. To emphasize how much filler was able to be taken out of Dragon Ball Z while transitioning over to Dragon Ball Z Kai. Just for reference, in Dragon Ball Z, Goku fights Vegeta for the first time on episode 30. Okay? In Dragon Ball Z Kai, however, following the manga, was in episode 13-ish, which is a huge amount of difference, especially for me when I try to get other people to watch Dragon Ball Z. You know how daunting of a task it feels like when I try to get people to watch 300 episodes of DBZ versus the 160 something episodes of Dragon Ball Z Kai?
There were, like I said, there were definitely parts in, bro. I don't think I haven't seen every episode of Dragon Ball. Even to this day, I haven't. I've seen every episode of Kai though, and you know what I'm saying? It's just certain parts. I'm like, bro, y'all didn't need like that. It was just extra parts. Like, that's what he's talking about, filler. You know, I didn't get into anime. I wouldn't even say I'm big on Dragon Ball Z, and I was big on Naruto for a certain extent of time. But as far as other animes, I didn't know like a lot about it. You know, I started getting into it because my brother was into it. You know, and I used to like, okay, let me see what this is on. In 2000, I want to say. I started watching when I was young, you know, because I'm 25 right now, so I wasn't around when Dragon Ball Z first came out, but yeah.
Massive difference, and Kai's not perfect, don't get me wrong. Look,
Kai's
I miss
not.
Bruce Falconer music. Oh, I know, boo. Yeah, some people are saying boo.
How could you dare disrespect the original soundtrack?
I grew up with Bruce Falconer. There's some things that stuck with me from the Funimation broadcast of Dragon Ball Z. A lot of iconic lines where they did take liberties and change up what they said in the manga, but for me, it became so iconic and better. That's my preferred way to hear those scenes. Like Vegeta saying, but there's one thing a Saiyan always keeps.
His
I
pride!
knew what he said in manga at that point. Like, that was too cool. You can't beat that. Sorry.
Right.
Iconic
That was
soundtracks
better.
like the Super Saiyan 3 soundtrack, Ginyu Transformation, that soundtrack, and a lot more from the Bruce Falconer soundtrack just like are etched into my memory, and there will always just be bias for me towards that. However, all of that aside, I still lean towards Kai if I ever do a rewatch. I know this video seems like it's kind of out of nowhere, especially for me, but I just felt like I had to diffuse a lot of misunderstood Dragon Ball fans out there. And I don't.
Now, if I'm picking between final chapters and the regular Buu saga, I probably will lean towards. I like Z a little better than Kai with the Buu saga part. Just a little bit better.
Really even blame you. I blame Nicktoons and like 4Kids or whatever. And you're still entitled to your own preferences. This isn't me trying to sway anybody because I can't do that. People are too stubborn. But when you make your claims about, oh, Kai is trash, don't let it be something dumb like it's too kiddie or there's no blood, because it's not true. And a lot of times there's even more cussing in Dragon Ball Z Kai than there was in the original airing. Like one of the moments that I'm actually torn 50-50 on whether I like the original showing or Kai more is when Goku first goes Super Saiyan. In the original one, he's just basically, I won't let you get away with
I said the same thing.
In Fire. In Kai, however, like he really sounds mad. You know when Goku starts calling you a bastard? Oh, you in trouble. Bro, you ruthless, heartless
bastard.
And then he says, I will make you suffer. Oh my.
Then when I literally said the same thing. I said the transformation in Kai, Goku going Super Saiyan in DBZ Kai is better than DBZ. I said the same thing. It's no debate. Way better. Way better. His scream is better in Kai at that point in time. Goku's scream in the Buu saga in Z, especially when he's going Super Saiyan 3. Bro, but at this point though, like going Super Saiyan in Kai versus going Super Saiyan in DBZ, that transformation in Kai is way better. Now, There's parts in Kai that aren't as good as DBZ. Vegeta going Super Saiyan in DBZ is way better than DBZ Kai. Tell me, does a machine like yourself ever experience fear? It's way better than DBZ Kai, Vegeta going Super Saiyan. You know, and that's my whole point, because I'm glad somebody else is seeing what I'm seeing.
Oh my god! Because you know Goku's character, so like him saying something like that has like a lot of weight to it, you know what I mean? Oh, but I love the original one too. Also, there's a whole thing that happened with the OST of Kai where it was supposed to be one OST, but then he got caught plagiarizing, so they had to replace it with the OG OST from Dragon Ball Z.
Got caught plagiarizing.
So, like the OST is all over the place. And then in the final chapters, which is like the Boo arc, that's when Sumitomo was brought on board, and he would later become the composer for Dragon Ball Super as well. And I think he does an amazing job. I know his work is a little polarizing for people too, but then again, what on the internet or that's publicly available to be criticized isn't. But I'm a big fan of his work. But yeah, let me know in the comment section down below. Do you like Dragon Ball Z Kai more? Do you like Dragon Ball Z more? And be honest, comment down below, please. I want to see these because I know you guys are out there. Did I give you any insight onto what Dragon Ball Z Kai is? Do you think that you might have misunderstood it a little bit? Again, I understand. I hate the go on boy, whatever. Like some people can't be talked off of that cliff. I get it. I'm not here to try to do that. You don't like it, you don't like it. But I just hope that I helped somebody understand more of what Dragon Ball Z Kai really is. It's a condensed, more fluid, more digestible way to watch Dragon Ball Z, in my opinion. Yes, it lacks your favorite driving episode, but it also lacks a bunch of the random BS arcs that we like to pretend didn't happen. Filler arcs is what I'm referring to. And I said this on the Key Moments podcast, which by the way will be linked in the description, but I still don't think that the perfect version of Dragon Ball Z is out yet. I wouldn't mind a reanimation completely from scratch, but I would prefer Dragon Ball Super to continue, okay? That's where my preference is, but I also wouldn't mind if they use some of their modern animation skills and actually reanimated, like from scratch, Dragon Ball Z. I think that would be fire. I don't know, I've yapped long enough. Let me know if you learned something about Dragon Ball Z Kai. Let me know your opinion about Dragon Ball Z Kai. And hey, maybe at this point you might want to give it a watch or something. I know whenever I try to get somebody to watch Dragon Ball Z, I'll usually point them to Kai so they don't give up in 10 episodes. Oh, and for the love of God, oh man, I might make some people mad. Do not, this is not hate towards the abridged people because I think they would agree with me. Do not make your first watch through of Dragon Ball be Dragon Ball Z abridged.
Oh, he's hating on you.
I'm gonna be honest, bro. My brother watched the bridge and I tried to. That is just not for me personally. I actually tried, bro. I'm gonna be honest.
4-star.
No, I'm not. They say in all of their episodes support the official release. The amount of people who try to have conversations about Dragon Ball with me who have only seen abridged, ooh. Okay.
That shit is another, like, people will get, let me, bro.
Will do exist, I promise. Anyway, that's it. Bye. Subscribe, by the way.
Appreciate all the love and support. Make sure to like, share, subscribe if you're new. BamZ signing out, man. Peace.